these titles are getting really long. Although I actually don't mind that a little bit. Hey everybody, I'm back because I just finished watching with Dawn of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Electric Boogaloo, whatever. Like I said, these titles are getting kind of funny. Anyways, let's get into it. I enjoyed this movie. I've only seen two of the franchises of the, I guess, rebooted series, and well, so far I think I like this movie a little bit better than the first one. Not to say I didn't like the first one. There are a lot of, like I said, it's a story. I am a person that I like to try to I understand that sometimes with franchises there's a bigger picture. Some people like they watch one movie, didn't like it, and then they're like, I hate it, and then they move on. But like I'm a man who watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've seen, and I know that every storyline in that one is severely different. So, but once you watch all of it, it's like, oh, I get it, Danny DeVito. So, yeah. With that said, different feel for this one. There was a lot of, there's a time jump. Obviously, I think from judging from what Maurice, the orangutan, said, he said 10 winters have passed, so about 10 years, I'm assuming. So, from the previous movie, James Franco is nowhere to be found. So. Norman Osborn, who know where he's at, or Norman's the father, Harry Osborn, that's who it was. Anyway, nowhere to be seen. Although he does make cameos in like pictures and videos, which I wonder. I'm sure they have to pay James Franco some of that. Do they? I don't know. I actually don't know. But that doesn't matter. He's not in the movie. Who cares? He's gone now. So we have new characters who, I'll be honest with you, I did not care about the humans. It was like a Godzilla movie. Which I compared the last movie to Godzilla a lot because of Monkey. Which another thing I want to say that people were like giving like heck about like, ooh, Kong has a fist. Well, these monkeys had guns. Like, geez Louise, like that's even wilder than I think a monkey having a robotic fist. But so anyway, so but I love dumb fun like that. Anyways, so let's break it down to this movie. Time jump. You learning the monkeys, the apes. My bad. Not monkeys, apes they've developed their own languages and like, well, they know sign language, but like they have rules, they have a society going on, they live in the forest, they're all happy. Then Caesar has a son, that's really kind of cool. He has a family, which, I kind of want to see a little bit more of that, but it's whatever. So we get that. Then humans started kind of infiltrating their world, and then that's what causes the problems. So, and then there's one guy right here. This guy was a jerk. I'm glad he dies. But, like I said, there was a point in the movie where I didn't care for the humans really at all. I liked seeing more of the dynamic that the apes had, like their social structure. Caesar, Little Caesars is the leader, but like over time, with now that there's no longer peace, we're seeing his leadership be tested amongst his fellow other members who like, do we trust Caesar? Like, does he have his best interests at heart, And he's just trying to like do his best to just protect everybody, make sure everybody's safe. And he kind of going the route of like, look, because the humans need to come to like fix the dam or whatever, so they can get power back to like San Francisco or whatever. But then, Caesar's like, just let them do what they got to do so we can just like live our own. But they're all like, well, we want to kill them. And it comes down to a thing about it where, like, I don't think neither the apes nor the humans were in the right or wrong. Basically, there were bad apples on both sides. And that's an interesting thing. The whole time I thought in the movie, I kind of felt like, oh, this is predictable. Humans are going to do something to upset the apes. And then that's what's called discourse. But no, it was kind of like a situation where, like, you show me my world, I show you your world, and we kind of like get together. But then there's always bad apples amongst the group who ruin it for everybody. So at first I thought the humans were going to kind of like be the ones who snap the camel's back or whatever. But actually, no, it was Koba was his name. Yeah, Koba in the first movie. He's the one who does it. And so like, yeah, it's like, it's freaking wild that like, that's what happened. So like I said, the humans are starting to like kind of become friends with, or like the main human characters becomes friends, like the apes. They help them out. They help Caesar, like his family, like his wife is like sick or whatever. She just gave birth. She's sick. So yeah, but over time, like Koba, he doesn't trust humans. He's been like, he's just traumatized, and like Caesar, kind of being the only ape who really got to see the good side of humans, is like, look, they just want to do what they want to do, right? So that happens. Koba's like, no, I want to like show them that humans are like bad, but it gets to the point where Koba kind of like he betrays Caesar just to prove his point. It's a very Macbeth, Mufasa, Scar situation, like because Koba was like, he's like a brother to like Caesar, right? They're all like family. So yeah, Koba like just pulls the trigger on Caesar just to like prove a point and burns down the village. And then also, and another thing interesting about the point is his son. Caesar's son is like he's having a point of his time where he's like, I'm being tested because I don't trust humans either. But also he's young and influential, so Koba kind of like brainwashed him a little bit to be like, no, we got to avenge your father and all this stuff like that. When like Caesar was just trying to do everything to protect the people, so like his no one gets hurt, right? So he was trying to use the more pacifist route. Which, if I learned anything, and like look, I've played many like wartime strategy games. In a lot of the situations, you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like you can choose the pacifist route, and that could work. But you can also choose the aggressive route, and that somewhat could work. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we learned from Fallout. War never changes. If both sides are just like don't trust each other, and that's it's something I learned from Matt Pat's last game theory. The more you like have faith in other people, like the more you're gonna just do better in life. And that was the issue. Is like neither side really had faith in each other, but a select few did, and the select few who did kind of saw that like, oh, we could live in peace and harmony if we just trusted each other. But then there was those few who were like, no, these people are bad. They're trying to hurt us because they're different from us. They're like the reports for the humans like, no, they're apes. They're animals. We can't trust them. And then some of the apes were like, no, they're humans. They hurt people. They do bad things. They've done bad things to me. Right? So Koba betrays Caesar, like gets his son to try to avenge Caesar, but then the wild part is like, so this is the part where I actually kind of started feeling bad for the humans. Cause up to this point I didn't care, but then I was like, oh no, Koba like betrayed Caesar. This is like, wow. I almost didn't see that coming, that he would be the one to pull the trigger. So like quite literally. And then anyways, so he pulls the trigger, right? And then anyways, so they go to war. Like the apes go to war with the leftover people in San Francisco, and that's the point where like you like the apes are starting to realize, oh, like this is kind of like wrong, and also they're seeing like war for the first time. Like they haven't really gone to war. Like Caesar's son is like starting to see like, oh, my fellow brothers are dying. All for like what, So like, and he's like kind of seeing that for the first time, like. Because like I said, they're apes. They have not gone to war yet. Versus the humans who like been very experienced going to war. Anyways, but eventually over time, Koba's going buck wild, and eventually he takes over the city. But he's so like hell-bent on power that he like kills another ape, and that's like one of the rules: apes don't kill another ape, right? And it boils down to the whole thing of like, Koba's choosing to lead through fear. Versus as like the opposing Caesar leads through loyalty, and that's probably a thing throughout history is like which one's better, right? And so eventually Koba starts like imprisoning those who were too loyal to Caesar, right? And then the rest follow because they just fear Koba, And eventually Caesar's son sees that, he finds out his father's alive, they help him out, it all comes out, and then eventually you get the showdown at the end between Caesar and Koba, right? I hope I'm saying Koba's name right. Is that his name? Anyways, I don't know why I'm asking you guys. You can't reply in real time, but I'll look it up when I'm doing research, editing this video. So that happens. Showdown happens. Spoiler alert. This movie's been out since what, 2014, I think, when it came out. So you should have seen it by now. I mean, I haven't, but like if I got spoiled, I wouldn't be upset because I had time, right? So, anyways. Side note there. So Koba, they fight. Koba plays dirty kind of, but like Caesar prevails, even though he is kind of injured. But that, I guess he's a strong ape because he just recovered like 2 days from a gunshot wound. Wild. But anyways, that's besides the point. So a couple apes get shot. I think Maurice got shot. I was like, no, I don't think he dies because he's in the next few movies. So just judging from what I've seen from the trailers and images on. The preview from streaming services. Anyway, Koba perishes, and the way they chose to have Koba die was kind of like very like captivating because it was kind of a parallel from like the first movie when like Koba has to end the life of the guy who like ran the lab or whatever. You know, it was a very just parallel, and and I remember like when he's like, "You can't kill me because I'm an ape," and I knew exactly what Caesar's gonna say. Caesar says, "You are no ape," and that was like, oh, whoa, I was like, yes, because like one powerful message that I think I learned when watching this movie, and like as Caesar learned, is that like he said like I thought apes were better than humans, and or but I realized we're just like them, and he kind of realizes that like it doesn't matter whether you're an ape, whether you're a human. Like there are bad people, there are bad apes, there are bad humans, but they're also good people, they're good humans. No matter what, no matter who you are, they're gonna be bad people and good people, no matter like who you are. And I think that's kind of a parallel to like, and I don't know how deep like what director Matt Reeves was trying to go with this, but it's just kind of real life. No matter who you are, whether you're rich, poor, no matter what color, gender, whatever, like there's gonna be bad people amongst any of those groups, but there's also gonna be good people. And instead of like what Mewtwo say, I see that it's what one chooses to do with their life that judges their character or something like that. And then Mew's like meow, and then yeah, and then yeah, but like yeah, it's true. Like no matter who you are, where you come from, what identity or your genetics, like you can choose whether you're gonna be good or bad, whatever you're given in life. And that's like one of the messages that I found very powerful about the franchise or even this movie was that like, yeah, just try to be good and hopefully other good people notice that of you, and the more that you can give to this world, the more you will get back. And you saw that like the more like Caesar and like our main characters like trusted each other, you saw that it benefited both of them. I mean, it just sucked that there are other people on both sides who were like preying on their downfall, right? So, but anyways, I thoroughly enjoy it. I am excited to see the next one. Honestly, I'm really just excited to see the new one that comes out. Like what? It's like in like 2 weeks. It made. Well, I don't know when this episode would come out. Because I recorded this in April. So yeah, the time schedule, right? But I recorded this before even my first video about it came out. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. I enjoy these movies and I especially love the parts of the movie when like it doesn't have when it's just like the apes like kind of going like they're communicating. You're seeing how their society is built, and it just it kind of just it makes me think like back when humans were evolving to like learn languages and laws and like at what point like humans probably had to run these issues too of like at first I'm sure we all got along, and then at some point something happened where like, oh, I don't like the way you're doing this, so like we formed tribes, and like then that's how the tribalism became a thing. And now we're to the point where like we're fighting each other because like one side is left, one side is right, one side is a different color than the other, and even though we're all people, it's kind of stupid. But yeah, it is crazy. But that's like I said, but that's the reason I love watching movies and TV shows and playing games and all that and stuff like that, is because just they're parallels to like our real lives, and they help you kind of explain things that maybe you can't explain in this real world, or you can't thoroughly show by just or talk about without like getting too like personal about it. I don't know. You watch it and like I kind of see that in real life. And also, not to mention, speaking of parallels, I just remember this. The beginning of that movie. So if you haven't seen Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, just watch the first like 5 minutes of that movie. That hit too close to home. So that movie came out in 2016. If I'm right, 2016, right? The beginning was exactly what I saw on the news, like for like a in 2020. Because like if the story trajectory of the first one is like there was a virus that broke out from the lab that like it helped the monkeys get smarter, but like it just was too much for the humans. Like they couldn't process it, so they all got sick and stuff like that. So the whole movie first like opening credits scene is just like them talking about how like humans have like are just dying out because they're getting sick, they're turning on each other, Like they're fighting. There was a part where it was like Obama was making a speech, and I was like, oh, I forgot Obama was president at this point. And then and then it just talked about how like there was a mandated quarantine. The CDC was involved, and I was just like, this is too personal. This is too close to home. This happened 4 years later. This happened, and I was just like, this is wild. And it sounded and looked exactly like what I saw on the news during that time of COVID, and it was weird to relive that because there are parts of me that kind of forget that time, but like that was too close to home. The only difference between that movie and real life was that we didn't have monkeys taking over, but it could have happened. Who knows? Anyways, so I thought that was a crazy part of the movie. But once again, moving on, like I said, at least watch that part, or you can look it up on YouTube or something like that. But yeah, overall, I give this movie 9 kombucha chimps, I think they're called, out of 11 Harambe's, right? And that's my grading scale for this one. So, great movie. And once again, Andy Serkis, man, give this guy a medal or something. Jesus Christ. Like, please. Anybody? Awesome. Soundtrack was good. I liked a lot of the kind of jungle vibes some of them had. Over out. I ain't got much to say. Here's to the next one. War of the Planet of the Apes. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Juice out.